Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the finalists from the National University of Singapore.
So I couldn't have planned it any better myself. I am actually wearing two UNIQLO products on my body now. One is their Oxford Easy Care long sleeve shirt, and on the inside I'm wearing their Arizona shirt. So when I actually purchase their products, what I go is I select which of the products I really want to buy. After that, I make sure it tailors to the fit of my body. And lastly, of course, as I'm doing now to everyone here, I flaunt it proudly. Today, our solution of select, tailor, and flaunt will help bring UNIQLO to new heights in the US market and beyond. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joel. These are my teammates, Sharon, Mazuk, and Tuyen. Thank you for having us here in this great city. So without ado, let me go straight into considering where we are and how we need to get to where we want to be. So we see we want to achieve sustainable success in the US, where we do not have a large presence at the moment. So how do we then target and market this product to the people in America, especially a very competitive environment in America? Secondly, our ops and distribution or supply chain is geared towards Asian markets. How then do we optimize it? Do we improve it to allow it to support our expansion in the American markets? Lastly, we see we have nascent online offerings, and we see a huge potential here, especially in light of our CEO's comments. How then do we improve this online customer experience? Before we dive straight into our recommendations, let's take a deeper look at a situational analysis. So we can see here that UNIQLO's main competencies, I've tried to distill them to three main things. First is brand equity. They are known in Japan and China as a good brand. Secondly, of course, product quality. Thirdly, their supply chain control has allowed them to keep their prices low and to keep lead time low, which gives them big competitive advantage. However, if you look in green, when you go in the US, the brand equity is not as significant as that in Asia. Not as many Americans know us and what we are good for. However, we can still market ourselves in terms of product quality and supply chain control. And the implication here then is we need to focus on this quality, and also we need to have superior operations and distributions to retain our price and speed advantages. Next, we actually look at the US competition as mentioned earlier. We see there are big in-season retailers which make sure they are kept abreast on trends, such as Inditex through Zara stores, or big seasonal retailers such as Gap and H&M, which big seasonal retailers, Gap and H&M, they focus on basic and fast fashion, And lastly, you see independent retailers catering to all types of eclectic tastes in the US, and such that all segments are effectively catered for. This breeds a very, very competitive market, and as a relatively new player in this market, we need to carve out a niche segment to develop a foothold for success, instead of going out aggressively and trying to capture the entire market, east to west, in all product forms. I think it's the wrong slide. This one. And lastly, about the online strategy. We see a big potential in online strategy because most of UNIQLO's retail stores are concentrated in geographically dense cities. However, we see an opportunity in capturing the long tail from people living in minor areas where there might not be a significant population. Amazon has done this through non-hit DVDs, as they realize that many niche segments, when put together, aggregates into a large customer base. And therefore, we see opportunity here, and we want to deal with this in our last recommendation.
Given the competitive nature of the industry in the US market, it's critical for us to select a niche in the US market and also enhance our brand awareness. And this is what we aim to do in our first select strategy. We want to build a US expansion strategy through a carefully selected niche market in the industry. And with this, we've selected the niche market to be to be US college students. This is because we believe that our core products and our core values that we promote from UNIQLO itself matches with what these college students value and what they look for. So let's look at typical college students. Let's look at what they value when they shop. They value for money because these college students are highly indebted in their college loans, and therefore they want the best value for each money they spend. At the same time, how they shop. When we look at their behavior, they prefer practicality over luxurious fashion brands or fashion trends. And this match with the core product that UNIQLO offers through our basic range as well as through our practicality. And so with this niche market targeted, what we want to achieve is to get them where they are, to attract, to put our brand and our products to where these college students are. And what we want to promote is we want them to induce trial of our product. We want them to be able to touch and feel our product quality. At the same time, we want to inform them of the UNIQLO technology and how we pride ourselves in the quality that we offer in our products. Also, we want to increase our brand awareness amongst these college students that our UNIQLO products are able to assure you of the quality that we promise. And therefore, with this, what we propose is for UNIQLO to set up pop-up stores in universities to target these college students. So what we'll be doing is that we'll be setting up pop-up stores, and they'll be conducted in the form of pop-up stores.
Was that firstly, there's a high shop opening cost for the management itself, and secondly, there's also high inventory cost because we simply do not have the supply chain management expertise that we have in our home markets like Japan to do so in USA. And the implication of this really is that we need to have a targeted, strategic supply chain management system in order to support this expansion. So how do we go about doing this? If you look at the supply chain management of UNIQLO, there are two key areas that we found that should be the focus while expanding in the USA. And to start off, we have the operations. And one of the key factors that we mentioned was that we're not able to support, we need to support our stores with a reduced inventory cost, at the same time, reduced lead time. And hence, a suitable model for us to start off with while we expand will be the hub-spoke system, where warehouses will be centralized in Tier 1 cities, followed which our stores will be then situated in the universities as well as the nearby cities within a geographical radius, which will be supported by a manufacturing plant in Vietnam. This will be a strategy that allows us to not only reduce the lead time, unit warehouse cost, inventory cost, but help us to tread the water and enter the market in a sustainable way in terms of our operations wise. And moving on from operations, another very important component of the supply chain management that we saw was the distribution angle. And if at this point I may take you to a quote that our founders said, we really have to transform this company to be successful and complete. And the key here, ladies and gentlemen, is that innovation is key. Simply just opening stores is not enough. And on top of opening normal standard size, small size formats near the warehouse hub-spoke system that I had mentioned earlier, we proposed the opening of UNIQLO virtual experience stores. What this would look like. For instance, this concept has already been tested in famous Europe fashion cities such as Paris and Italy. And imagine you're a customer. You can now walk into a small size UNIQLO store, take out your phone, and purchase the right fit of UNIQLO products that you want, because we will have the technology of LED TVs. They will give you the virtual experience through this unique store format. And next, please. Sorry. So through tailoring our supply chain management, we are able to support the niche market that we have selected. And the last component of our strategy is really to flaunt the UNIQLO online experience, because as Joel had mentioned, the online experience is a very key component of the customer's purchasing journey within the online experience. And if a customer currently goes to our website right now, we identified there are three key issues within the customer journey. If I were to take you through a simple, normal customer's process itself, you go through the processes of awareness, consideration, and post-purchase. But when it comes to awareness, to a standard customer, when he goes online, there are so many multitude of sites out there, and hence the problem for UNIQLO then is how do you break through the clutter and reach out to them to raise the brand awareness that we need? Secondly, consideration. How do you get them to consider buying our product before even purchasing it? And that's something UNIQLO has to address as well in its online experience. And lastly, how do you enhance any post-purchase discomfort or customer relationship management that we can have? And 3 tactics that we looked at to address the online experience would be, first, in terms of awareness, what UNIQLO could do would be blowfish marketing. For instance, through the subscription of a service such as the adroll.me, what it would allow UNIQLO to do is to track users' clicking behavior, to understand the kind of products that they would desire, and this will help us to advertise accordingly and hence raise our brand awareness, breaking through the clutter and reaching out to them. Secondly, in terms of consideration, what we can do in terms of our online website experience is to provide online matching services. When you are buying a UNIQLO shirt or product, one of the fundamental things you can do is simply by using the color wheel concept to just match the right outfit that you can, and hence if you click a particular shirt model that you want, you will be able to give 3 possible reviews or 3 possible outfits that you can try on as a customer to induce the purchase on our online website. And lastly, at the post-purchase level, we realized as an online customer, sometimes you have the worry that the size that you buy may not be the perfect fit that you want. And how can we improve this? What we can do is to work with our logistic providers to have this additional option on the online purchase portal. Upon clicking, let's say, a shirt model, and I want to buy it, what I can do then is to click another additional option that will have the 15-minute sizing check. So once the delivery man reaches your house, he would wait 15 minutes for you to try on the shirt to check if the size fits you. And through a simple measure like this, what you can do is enhance the customer journey, the entire online customer experience via the UNIQLO website. And through Select, Tailor, and Flaunt, there are also certain risks that we looked at. But for instance, in our expansion, there's the need to train our staff, and there's the need to train our staff in order for them to deliver the kind of quality control measures that we want to do. And as well as for the other strategies, what we want to do is also to tread the waters and try them out in a systematic, tiered approach. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the future is presented with uncertainty for UNIQLO. Through Select, Tailor, and Flaunt, we believe that we can bring about the next opportunity for them. And now that we have looked at these 3 strategies, what is the financial impact of these strategies?
Thank you, Mazuk. So we'll Select, Tailor, and Flaunt, we'll look at them qualitatively. Now let's take a look at them quantitatively. So we believe the US market has a lot of potential for us. So really the right way to do it is to how do we market our key core products to the US markets. In our Select strategy, we believe that with the implementation of our strategy, we are actually able to achieve our targets, set up about 200 physical stores across US markets by the year 2020. And this is able to contribute to us a $696 million in terms of US dollars revenue by the year 2020. At the same time, as mentioned by Mazuk, in our Flaunt strategy, with the setup of virtual stores, we actually expect additional contribution of $20 million US dollars by the year 2020 as well from these virtual stores. We took a more conservative approach to value the revenue contributed by the virtual store because this is currently a new technology, but we're still hopeful that this will be very much in the trend in the next few years. So moving on to the second part of our Flaunt strategy, which is really towards the e-commerce markets. So we believe that currently the e-commerce market has actually contributes to 4% of UNIQLO's annual sales, and is currently growing at a compound annual growth rate of 14%. Because we'll be starting with the setting out the e-commerce advertising strategy as well as the virtual store. So finally, moving on to the last, we still have time. Let me elaborate further. So, finally for our Flaunt strategy, we'll start by of course, setting out the new advertising strategy for the e-commerce, as well as setting out the virtual stores. And after that, we'll be proceeding to beta testing, and finally, we'll fully launch these strategies. Yeah. So finally, in conclusion, we have presented to you our key objective. Our key issues are 3 strategies: Select, Tailor, and Flaunt. And we believe that these strategies will ensure that in the future, UNIQLO will be able to market itself to globally in a more successful way. And hence, in the future years, when we have another HSBC, Asia Pacific International Case Competitions, maybe if we invite students from United States, and they will also come here, just like Joel in UNIQLO clothes. Thank you very much. We're open to the floor for questions.
What is blowfish?
Sorry. So blowfish marketing aims to expose a brand to make it look bigger than it actually is. And for UNIQLO, one of the things we realized that in terms of brand awareness, they are very low in the US right now. And through a targeted advertising, we need to engage in blowfish marketing to really get the brand awareness out there for them to understand what UNIQLO is about and what do we stand for in terms of product quality.
Okay, so that's great. I've now learned something new. Very good work. Very impressive on marketing. So big focus you had on marketing, on branding, on innovation. John knows a lot more about this than I do, but I'm sure he'll question you on your long tail minor area strategy, which I don't really understand how that can work, but it's interesting, it's innovative. Pop-ups, colleges, we haven't heard before, very good. Great demographic. Heat Tech Challenge, love that. You know, I hope no one dies, but you know, it's great. It's a great idea. I think you missed an opportunity to talk about, it's not as interesting, so I get it, but you missed an opportunity to talk about risk. Foreign exchange, financing, funding, really key part of the business. Was there a reason for that? Did you think about it and decide it was too boring, or?
Okay, because we are actually currently recommending strategies in terms of, and these are strategy related to the operations of UNIQLO. So as you can see in the risk mitigation slide, we actually focus more on the operational risk. So obviously we consider financial risk in terms of funding, in terms of growth. And we know that if we look at the cost of capital equation, most of the risk comes from, in terms of financing risk, if you have high financing risk, you'll increase the cost of debt and cost of equity. But we believe that with our strategy, we're actually able to give UNIQLO a better chance at targeting new growth in terms of the US market, as well as through new channels such as e-commerce and virtual store. So that essentially is a viable business plan that's going to lower the risk that's going to be shouldered by the creditors as well as investors who are holding the ownership of the company's stocks. So we believe that that's actually going to lower the risk of financing, lower the risk of our capital, and also lower the financing risk. Thank you.
Well, very good presentation. I think you started off asking really the right question, where UNIQLO wants to be, who are the customers. You did a SWOT analysis and, you know, weak brand equity. So you can't just give the stuff away, you know, so there has to be a building up of that. So I think that's very, very good start. I think you're weaving in of you know, social media and, you know, a lot of innovations, technology, pop-up stores in colleges, you know, and services, virtual shops. I think you've covered a lot of interesting ground. I guess I was a little bit unclear at the end when you said you're still targeting 200 shops by 2020. Does that include the pop-ups or are those regular shops? Because that's a different ballgame. And if those are physical stores, I mean, that gets pretty expensive and seems to go against your, you know, online strategy. So I wanted to, if you could clarify.